Ryan's Midlife Crisis Journal, day 13, I believe. Today's tip, to shed the wisdom of my 37 years so far. Shed? No, to share. I don't want to shed it. I want to keep it. Today's tip, don't clean the kids' playroom on Fridays and Saturdays. So the idea behind this tip is don't clean a room when it's about to get messy. So sometimes it can be easy to forget that you may vacuum right before you make a mess, or just other times where it's inefficient to do things. So little things like that, if you stay too focused on what you're doing just in a given day, you're going to end up finding you're doing things repeatedly, which can be frustrating. This can go for like shopping trips and things like that too. So just a tip, you can save yourself some time. Don't clean the playroom on Fridays and Saturdays. All right. As far as what to talk about today, I keep thinking about starting a business, but like, for example, I like the idea of starting a business, like opening a game store. We just went yesterday after our softball. There was a bug flew in front of the camera. Where we went to one of my daughter's friends. Her dad owns a restaurant, and they're actually the sponsor of her team. And that's their job. He actually was very tied up on weekends and stuff, but he's a chef. It's what he does. And there's like an open lot next to them. I always like looking at how much it is to lease different lots, because one way to potentially turn hobbies like mine, like gaming, whether it's miniature gaming or board gaming and things like that, into more of a mission, is to say open a game store. And I don't think I would totally dislike that. Some people say that that would make it too much work, they wouldn't enjoy it, but I think I would enjoy it. A few reasons why I haven't been super serious about pursuing that angle. One is, there's a certain amount that you can't save in time for like running a store. The other part is, so like, for example, like if you're running like an online store, you probably do that pretty efficiently. An in-person store, less so. So I thought about an online store, but that's not necessarily as fun, I guess you could say. Just being able to like have people walk into the store and help them out in terms of like figure out what to buy, that sort of thing. But the other thing that's stopping me from doing it is the idea that hiring employees is stressful. Ideally, I'm envious of people that have stores that are like, they're solopreneurs, so the other person that actually runs it. I like the idea of having like going in with maybe like a business partner. Like I have a work friend where we went in and we're 50-50 owners in the store. Maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe it should be 51-49, but anyway, is that we're the only employees, so we don't have to have the added stress of hiring people, because where I work, like I have people that work for me, so I have some experience with like interviewing people, but we have HR, and I don't have to be my own HR. I just have to not do things that would be an HR mistake, but also know when to go to HR for different issues, things like that. So I would be a little bit worried about hiring someone who ended up like stealing from the company, or filed some sort of complaints. Like I've heard of people starting a job and then trying to get fired so that they can sue the company, things like that. Like I don't like the idea of those kind of stresses. And I can't decide if I genuinely want to avoid that, or if that's just an excuse, because hiring employees is obviously how you can own a game store, run a store like that, and still have a life outside of it. Especially for evenings, which are very important. That's something I genuinely don't want to do, is be tied up at a store for evenings or weekend days, because that's the time when I get to spend time with my family. And I like to say a lot of that time is non-negotiable that I'm around the kids, at least for most days. Like 1 or 2 nights a week, that'd be fine, but that's my challenge with that. That's my problem. And so that's one of the things I'm trying to sort out is, are my excuses legitimate excuses, as I've always thought they are, or am I just covering up for, is it just an excuse to not do it because then things are easier? See, sometimes I make excuses and I know I'm making excuses, and sometimes, but like, I don't know, just to go back to a childhood example where I saw through myself pretty early on. And one time where I wasn't exactly a ladies' man in high school, and I was on Instant Messenger once talking with a girl that I'm friends with, or I was like kind of friends with, acquaintances, not friend zoned necessarily, but it got to the point where I was bringing up some movie, and I was asking her if she would want to be interested in seeing like, oh, is this a kind of movie you'd want to see? Like, not like I was asking her out, but I was like asking if she wanted to, and her response was, oh, why would you want to know if I want to see it? Basically saying, like, fucking, if you're gonna ask me out, do it. And I didn't. And the real reason I didn't was because I didn't go in with like a plan to ask her. I just kind of happened, and decided against it. And I probably should have, but but what the story I told myself was, oh, this girl there's another girl I liked, more, who I obviously didn't ask on a date either. But there's another girl I liked more, and I should have, it wouldn't be fair to this girl if I, asked her out when she wasn't the apple of my eye or something like that. That was like my weird rationalization, which is total bullshit. But also, if I told that story to someone, like I told that story to one of my parents, like maybe my mom or something, she would probably support my lie. I think I even did, and she did. But it'd be better if I don't know. I want to be the kind of mentoring that thing to my kids, to be like, oh, you probably should do something like that. Because, like, who the fuck, I'm in high school, who knows, like, who am I to know who I would really, like more once I actually started, like, dating them. Like, that's, so, yeah, I was trying to explain to my wife my hesitation of starting a company with employees, and she didn't understand it she didn't think it made sense. She thought I should be less hesitant about that, but she's also she's not necessarily of the opinion that starting a company is the most efficient use of our time right now either, which is a whole different thing. So now I'm in a spot where I'm defending certain aspects, reasons why I'm saying no, and not defending others. Like, so, yeah. Anyway, those are things that I'm kind of wrestling with. And there, I think the way to break that in some cases might be, I don't want to just blindly try things either. I want to, so I think I can be strategic with some of this stuff, what I want to do. I'm just too strategic, and keep finding that, I'm very good at finding reasons not to do things. Like not cleaning playroom on Saturdays, but I think that's a good tip. But you don't want your whole life to be just like finding what not to do. Yeah. Alright, probably got a few mosquito bites today, but I think that's probably good. Man, I'm kind of happy it didn't rain either. It's only rained on one of these journaling days so far. Alright. Day 13 in the books.